Hello, and in this video, we're going to be ranking these One Piece arcs from the pre-timeskip era. I'm actually quite good with knowing these arcs because I've actually watched them in an anime form, and I have also watched them in manga form. So without further ado, let's rank them. Okay, let's start with Romance Dawn. This is quite a good arc in my opinion, quite solid. You get Luffy's backstory, while also getting Zoro introduced and Shanks. I'll give this a solid A tier, it's pretty good. Orange Town. You get introduced to the goat Buggy, who is, he's better early on because he becomes a warlord of the sea. So I feel like this is going to be a pretty good arc. You also get the fight scenes, you get introduced to Nami's character. I'll give this like a B tier because it's not like a crazy arc, it feels like a pretty shonen story, if you get what I'm trying to say. So it's Syrup Village. Okay, Syrup Village is good. There are pacing issues, I would say, on the anime version. In the manga, it's a bit better. I would definitely say though, it gets a bit boring after they leave the house, and Usopp is a bit annoying in this arc, to be honest. When he's first introduced, he's now the goat now, but in this arc he was like mid, so I'll just give this a solid C tier. We go to Barate. This arc is an S tier arc. It's really good. I wouldn't say it's peak, but it's S tier. You get the fights with Luffy, then he never stops. You get introduced to Sanji, and you get to get his part backstory, and that's like a really good backstory, how he learns how to share food, how to respect food because he was starving on that island. I think that's a solid S tier arc. Okay, after Barate, peak. Arlong Park is peak. You get introduced to Nami's character more. You see how she has grown up from this little child who was basically badly mistreated by Arlong, and now Luffy puts the hat on her arc, and then the battle scenes with Arlong, and then it's just Nami's backstory, which is really good, and it doesn't feel like a kid show anymore in Arlong Park, is my point. Yeah, here's Lookdown. This is quite a good arc, I would say. You get basically they're all preparing to go to the Grand Line. Buggy is introduced again. You get all these good moments. But it's not my favourite arc, to be honest. It's quite a decent one though. They do go on a bit more in the anime compared to manga though. In the manga it's kind of a short-formed arc. But I still think it's a fun arc to see, so I'll give it a B tier as well. Okay. Now, this is the next one, which is Reverse Mountain. You get Laboon. And also, if you don't know, this is a spoiler. Brooks is basically Laboon's one of the pirate's best friends. I would say Laboon is a really good character because he's like more mysterious. I'd say this is a really fun arc to go to. You get introduced to Vivi, and I think it's Mr. 10 or something. But I would give it a solid. What would I give it? I would give it. But it's not the best arc. I would say it's in there with Syrup Village, because you don't get like introduced to much. We've not had any D tiers yet, which is good. Okay, or F tiers. Just so it shows how good One Piece is. We've got Whiskey Peak. Yeah, you get introduced into more of Vivi's character and realize, oh, Vivi is the Princess of Alabasta, and there's also all these. Aren't they assassins? I think, yeah, no, bounty hunters. I mean, yeah, the bounty hunters basically attacking the crew, pretending to be friendly, and we get introduced to Crocodile, who runs the whole thing. I would say it's not my favorite. I'll give it a B tier. Actually, maybe just a C tier. It's not the best, but it's a decent arc. Okay, next we have Little Garden. Little Garden, in my opinion, is quite good. You get Usopp's dream of trying to be a great warrior of the sea. He gets inspired by these giants. You get Mr. Free introduced, which is a bit of a funny character, I guess. You get the two giants, everything, and then you get teased about Elbaf, foreshadowed. I'd give this a B tier. It's a decent arc, and it doesn't really get boring at any point, really. And it's quite entertaining with the giants, which is Drum Island. I would say Chopper has quite a good backstory. Whopper's kind of a mid-villain, so I would still give this arc a B tier. Alabaster. I think I would give this in between I'll give it an S tier because we get basically our first major battle with Luffy and Crocodile, which is really good, and you see Luffy trying to struggle against Crocodile, and yeah, the only reason why I didn't give it peak was because in the anime it gets kind of dull and boring when they're walking through the deserts. So yeah, that's the only reason why I didn't put it in peak, but overall I think it's a good story, and then you get all the other characters fighting properly this time with their own dedicated person in Baroque works. Yeah, I just think it's a really good arc, but I wouldn't say it was peak. Jaya. I would say it's a pretty good arc. I'll give it A tier. I think, I'll give it B tier. It's quite a good arc. You get introduced to some characters. Bellamere, who works for Doflamingo. Yeah, you get that as well. It shows Luffy that he doesn't need to fight for everything. And basically, you also get introduced to the goat Blackbeard. I forgot about that. And yeah. Then they go up to Sky Pier, which is where the next arc is. It's mid. I don't really. I find this arc good, but it's really not my favorite arc of all time. Okay, next arc. Long Ring Along the Land. I'm joking. It's not the worst arc of all time, but I definitely didn't enjoy watching it, especially. Reading it, it's okay. It's just after you go from Sky Island, it's not really a good arc to get back introduced to after that hell of an arc. So no One Piece is really F tier, so I'll leave it in D tier because it's not the worst thing I've seen. It's just not my favorite. Okay, the next arc, we have Water 7. That's an S tier. I really like Water 7 because you get introduced to Frankie and basically all these, I think they're carpenters or something. I don't know. Oh no, yes I do know, I just forgot the name, but I just find Water 7 a good arc. Also Usopp and Luffy's fights, that's really good. I think this is a solid arc, and it's just got a lot of good things about it. Okay, I've got to mention this just really quickly. When we go to Enies lobby, we do get introduced to CP9. We also get Robin's amazing backstory. It's quite emotional, and it's just a really good arc. We also get introduced to Gear 2 and Gear 3. I forgot about that. Well, more tease for Gear 3, but yeah, I'm gonna give this peak. This is a peak arc. I do think that's a really good arc. Enies lobby. But yeah, post Enies lobby. I think this is quite a good arc. I really find it fun. I wouldn't say it's S or peak, but I just really enjoy it. We also get teased from Ace's capture. Garp's introduced. We see Shanks, Blackbeard, and also Whitebeard. I just think this is quite a good arc. Okay, next arc. Phillip arc. I think it's a good arc because Brook has one of the best backstories, but everything else about it is just a bit That's okay. I would say this is more of a C tier, because it does have a good arc. Morio's an okay cat villain, but it's just not that highly. You get what I mean, it's not the best arc. Sabayo Odi Archipelago. This is an A tier. You get introduced to all these people from basically the Grand Line, the worst generation. It's good to see lore, and all these other characters, and Eustace the Kid. It's just a hell of an arc. You also get introduced to Rayleigh. There's just so many characters. I would say this is a really good arc. I know I repeated that, but it's true. And then they all get separated. So, next arc, Amazon Lily. Okay, this is the one where Boa Hancock falls in love with Luffy. It's just an arc introducing that Luffy's in a different place. Amazon Lily. I would say this is quite a good arc. I just don't think it's one of those other arcs which I don't think is the best. I'll give it a solid C tier. They do get introduced to Ace's death, so maybe B tier. Yeah, I'll just leave it in C tier to be honest for now. Maybe change it later at the end. Impel Down. I really enjoyed this. I'm gonna give this an S tier. Impel Down, you get introduced to so many characters as Buggy. You also get introduced to... What else do you get introduced to? Oh yeah, you get introduced to Mr. Free, Bon Clay again. You also get introduced to so many characters that you've not seen before for a very long time. And new ones like Eva, yeah, it's Eva. You get introduced to people like Eva, which you've not seen before, and also Magellan, and Luffy trying to go and save his brother as well, and it's just really entertaining, I think, in my opinion. Marineford, straight up peak. This goes at the front of peak. This is just a really good arc. You just get all the people that you've seen in the story so far into this basically arena, and then they just fight. And okay, spoiler, Ace's death. I cried during that. That was just so emotional. Don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's just the connection with Luffy and his brother is so wholesome, and that Whitebeard's death going around the world, and post-war is another one of those peak arcs. You get introduced to Sabo, who is dead. Is he? And you also get Rayleigh and Dragon introduced. And oh yeah, I forgot, in this, which arc was it? Yeah, post Enies Lobby you actually get introduced to Dragon as Luffy's father. I forgot about that. Anyway, it's just you get his backstory of Luffy when he was a kid. It's just a really wholesome story, in my opinion, and Luffy remembers himself that he has this crew. Okay, now it's come to the point of the video that to see if there's anything I would change. Okay, let's see. I'd say Sky Pierre, I'm not sure, I'll maybe give it a bit more credit. I'll give it in B tier. And what else do you think we should change? I'll give Logtown an A tier, why not? Okay, this is my ranking. I think I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah.